Hi, welcome back to Pixie Dust and Paperbacks. Today we'll be talking about my March TBR. I've bitten off a little bit more than I can chew, but I'm going to try my best to get through all of these. So first up, they'll be in no particular order, but this book I kind of have to finish first. So it is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This is the last book in a Sisterhood of Traveling book that I'm in. If you don't know what a Sisterhood of Traveling book is, it's when you get a group of your friends, book besties, and you each pick a book, and then you each get assigned a color tab. I'm blue. Then you trade off the book, and every month, every 2 months, depending on how fast everyone reads, the book is then sent off to someone else, and you each annotate in that color. This is the last round in the one that my friend Charles is hosting. This is actually her book pick. And as you can see, here's her tab. I don't have mine with me, but each pink stands for something different. And you kind of get a nice little keepsake in the end. So it's really nice to do with a bunch of book friends. So here's a little bit about Great Big Beautiful Life. When Margaret Ives, the famously reclusive heiress, invites Alice to the balmy little Crescent Island, Alice knows this is it, her big break. The catch: Pulitzer Prize-winning human thundercloud Hayden is sure of the same thing. The proposal: a trial period to unearth the truth behind one of the most scandalous families of the 20th century, after which Margaret will choose who will tell her story. The problem: Margaret is only giving each of them a tantalizing pieces that they can put together because of the ironclad DNA, and an inconvenient yearning pulsing between them every time they're in the same room. And it's becoming abundantly clear that their story, just like Margaret's tale, could be a mystery, tragedy, or love ballad, depending who's telling it. So I started reading this in February because I got it in February. I was hoping to finish it in February. I didn't. So these are two to be sent back at the end of this month. So I will be smashing out the rest of it. So far, what I've read, I haven't minded it. The romance isn't very romancy yet, so that's great. I love a romance subplot, I guess, or a subplot, as ex-English major says, but I'm not a fan when it's just a direct, straight romance. That's just not my thing. And at the moment, it's giving kind of Evelyn Hugo vibes with the premise of the novel. But I've heard a lot of great things, so hopefully I enjoy it just as much. The next book I will be reading is actually publisher mail that I got sent from Hatchet, Australia. I was very excited. I'm part of their influencer program for my Bookstagram, and they sent me "This Story Might Save Your Life." So every month I get sent an email, all their influencers do in their program, and then you can select up to 3 books, or even books that aren't listed, you can type them in, and then the marketing team goes through, finds out like if you fit, and they send you off one of the books. So This Story Might Save Your Life was one of the picks that sounded interesting to me because I am a podcast girly. I am a true crime girly, so I love thrillers, and this is that. So it's a thriller with a splash of romance. So, I mean, the romance is there, but I don't mind it because it's just tiny sprinkled. But it says, best friends Benny and Joy host a beloved comedy survival podcast, delighting millions of listeners with life-affirming survival stories. When Benny arrives at Joy's and her husband's one morning to record, he finds shattered glass and an empty house. With Joy missing and the hours ticking by, not even their most devoted fans could guess the terrible secrets they have hidden from the world and from each other. Can Benny find Joy and clear his name? To do so, he will have to solve the highest stakes survival story yet. That, drew me in. I read that in the newsletter, and I was like, tick, that is one for me. I will definitely be reading this. It comes out this month, so hopefully I can get it in before it's out. If not, pick this up if you love thrillers and with a splash of romance. I can't wait to get into this one. I actually might start this one. before I finish A Great Big Beautiful Life. No. I have to finish A Great Big Beautiful Life first. I'm probably a quarter of the way through. Maybe half. The next, in no particular order, is Ava Reed's Lady Macbeth. So, I loved A Study in Drowning. I have read it multiple times. I have listened to the audiobook, I think twice. And I absolutely love Ava Reed's writing. So, I'm hoping Lady Macbeth doesn't fail me. So it says, the lady knows the stories that her eyes induce madness in men. The lady knows she will be wed to the Scottish brute who does not leave his warrior ways behind. When he comes to the marriage bed, the lady knows his hostile, suspicious court will be the game of survival, requiring all of her wiles and hidden witchcraft to survive. But the lady does not know her husband has occult secrets of his own. She does not know that the prophecy girds him like armor. She does not know that her magic is greater and more dangerous and that it will threaten the order of the world. She does not know this yet, but she will. First of all, I don't mind the story of Macbeth by Shakespeare. I know a lot of people don't like it, so I love to see her reimagining of it, which I'm a bit excited. I like her dark academia, gothic sort of feel that she has to her writing. Then again, I've only read A Study in Drowning. I still need to pick up A Theory in Dreaming, but that is going to happen. So I'm hoping I will feel the same, like, creepy, cozy. I know that sounds weird, creepy, cozy, but it's definitely a creepy, cozy vibe that her books give off. So the next book, I must be on an Ava Reed train, because I also have, I think, one other book, but that's an audiobook I will be trying to get through. But the next physical will be Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reed. This is a sapphic story, and I'm very excited, obviously. I have the special edition, so I'm one of those people, I'm not like scared to read special editions. Look how pretty that is there. The nice purple, the shimmering. So it says on the back, it says, "This world can break anything." The inside says, "The Lamb's Gauntlet is a live-streamed assassination spectacle, and the next lamb has been chosen." Of The Last of Us meets the Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. So I'm a massive Hunger Games fan. I think I've mentioned it quite a few times in my videos. So if you did not know that about me, hi, my name's Fee, and I'm a Hunger Games addict. So it is dystopian. It's a standalone. Has a romance storyline, but it's sapphic, so hopefully it's something that I can enjoy. I find it a little bit harder to follow along with het romances if it's a main part of the plot, probably because I am gay, so it's a bit of a hit or miss with me when it comes out. Like, I don't mind it, but sometimes when it gets a bit intense and I'm just like, oh, absolutely not. I am kind of nervous though for a sapphic romance because I've read a couple so far and they can be hit or miss. So I said this on another booktuber's channel, but sometimes it can be as if they're written by, and no offense if this is who you are, but like straight cis man, like that's just sometimes the sapphic romance, that's just the feel, like as if it's they're the ones writing it. And that even goes with het women as well. And I guess it's because they kind of, I don't know, to me it's like they're writing the fantasy of it because they don't live it, if that makes sense. But I'm really excited because I'm absolutely obsessed with dystopians. So a little bit more about it. It says, Ines lives with her brother in a half-sunken town, barely scraping a living from their taxidermy shop. But their mother has secretly accrued enormous debt, and the only way to offer A way out is to offer her daughter up to be sacrificed to Creus, a live stream assassination event, the Lamb's Gauntlet. So there's the Hunger Games inspiredness to it, I think. Melanoe, I think is how you say the name, is the assassin chosen for this spectacle. The product of years of neural reconditioning and physiological alteration. She's a living weapon, famous for her cold brutality and deadly beauty, but she's also haunted by her failure in the last gauntlet, where she broke down live on screen. But as Mel pursues Inessa across the wasteland, each determined to claim victory, they begin to question what they've been taught. Could there be more to life than survival? Could they be capable of more than death? Could they, against all odds, be falling in love? So, we'll see where this takes me. I'll definitely let you know in my wrap-up. Now, another one I want to bite off is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. The movie is coming up at the end, towards the end of the year. It's out here in Australia. So I will be trying to get that done this month. But I mean, if I can't get it done, it's not like it's a big deal because of the fact that it doesn't come out till closer towards the end of the year, I believe. Excuse me. It doesn't come out till closer to the end of the year. So I still have a bit of time. So this is probably like lowest on my TBR for March. This is my partner. She has the complete novels of Jane Austen. So that is handy because I don't have to go and get a copy. I can just borrow this. The next physical book that I'm hoping to get through is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have heard a lot about this. I have heard a lot of hype, a lot of positive things. I've had it on my shelf for a few years now. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. It's definitely a genre, like up my alley of things that I like when it comes to the fantastical aspects of it. So the immortality, the deal with the devil, well, it's not really the devil, but you know, and that sort of thing, the magic of it. And I just think it's kind of cool that, I mean, it would suck to have that, what she has, but like, I feel like it's kind of cool the fact that she, you know, has been around for, I think it's like 300 years, 400 years, something like that. And like, she's literally seen everything happen, you know, cars, trains, planes, phones, all technological advancements have happened while she's been alive. Multiple wars, like this woman has seen everything. And I find that kind of fascinating, and I can't wait to see how she puts that to paper. So a bit about this. It says, France, 1714, a desperate woman makes a desperate deal in the dark, a bargain to live forever, but be remembered by none. So begins the invisible life of Addie LaRue, shadow muse to artists throughout history, forgotten friend, confidant, and lover, slipping away with the morning light. Addie passes through lives desperate, only to leave a trace of herself, until the day she walks back into a small bookshop in Manhattan and meets Henry, who remembers her. After 300 years, Addie's life is restarting, but the devil never plays fair. As Henry and Addie's lives start to intertwine, they must face the consequences of the decision they made and their prices to be paid. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue is a dazzling adventure across centuries and continents, across history and art, about a young woman learning how far she will go to leave her mark on the world. I kind of resonate with this because I have that fear of not existing. Unfortunately, she didn't. She wanted people to forget her, but she wanted to live forever. So I don't want to be forgotten, not necessarily live forever, but I just don't want my, like, just to be one day just forgotten. And that's one of my biggest fears. So I kind of like resonate with her a little bit because, you know, once we're gone and those who know us are gone, who's left to tell our story, you know? But she can tell her story. She can tell hundreds, maybe even thousands of people's story, depending on how many people she's come across. Even though every single day they reset and they don't remember her, she always remembers them. And I guess the sad part is, like, you never get that closure. Like, she doesn't get a closure because they constantly don't know who she is. So I guess she doesn't get to do the things in life, like fall in love, obviously she'll never be able to have a family because, she'd outlive them and she'd never age and they wouldn't know who she was. But I guess she'd never be able to have a home. She can't really, like, settle down. And I guess that's the part where some people take for granted in the real world. And I think this book might put a little bit of that into perspective. The last physical book before I get into the audiobooks is The Thursday Murder Club. So I have had this on my shelf for a very long time. I don't know if it's in this frame or not, but I actually have all of them, I think, that have been published. I have yet to read them, but I did watch the Netflix movie and I enjoyed it. So the plan is to read it and finish it and then go from there and see, do a video on, like, comparing and contrasting like I did with Wuthering Heights. My partner did pick this out for me to read. I'm going to try to have her pick at least one book for me to read a month minimum. February, she picked out quite a few. So minimum wise, just one a month. And so I can get through my enormous TBR behind me. Not all of it's TBR, but yeah. And this was the book that she picked for this month. Okay, so now that the physical books are done, I am on to audiobooks. Like I said, I think I've bitten off way more than I can chew. So my goal for Goodreads was 35 books this year. I'm on 31 so far. So I think I might adjust it a little bit, maybe go to 50. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. I do work full time. I do want to start writing again. I have a lot of book ideas. I have one that I was working on, then I thought of another one. I'm just a ball of creativity sometimes, and I want to start delegating time for those other tasks as well. Not tasks, hobbies. I'll say hobbies. Those other hobbies as well. I will be doing, like, writing vlogs and things like that. So that will be fun, talking about my character creation and how I get my muse, I guess. But let's get into the audiobooks. So I'm just opening a bar box that I use. So the last ever read book that I have is Juniper and Thorn. I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's a gruesome curse, a city in upheaval, a monster with unquenchable appetites. As the last true witches living in the city, shifting from magic to industry, I love creativity, but sometimes these names, I'm just like, I'm just going to call them Mar because I don't know how to pronounce her name. Mar and her two sisters are a little more than tourist traps, as they treat their clients with archaic remedies and beguile them with nostalgic charm. Mar spends her days divining secrets in exchange for rubles and trying to placate their tyrannical, xenophobic wizard father who keeps his daughters sequestered from the outside world. While at night, she and her sisters sneak out to enjoy the city's amenities and revel in its thrills, particularly the recently established ballet theater, where Mar meets a dancer who quickly captures her heart. But as Mar's late-night tryst grows more fervent and frequent, so does the threats her father's rage and magic. And while the city flourishes with culture and bustles with enterprise, a monster lurks in its midst. Born of intolerance and resentment, suffused with old world power, caught between history and progress and blood and desire, Mar must draw upon her own magic to keep her city safe and find her place within. I love anything magical. Witches, wizards, warlocks, you name it, fairies, pixies, anything magical. up my alley. So this was definitely a read that I needed to do. And since I had already had decided to put 2 other books by her on my TBR, I thought, heck, why not try for a 3rd? The next book I am hoping to get through is an audiobook, is Beth is Dead. I finally got this one. I've had this audiobook one checked out since the audiobook came out. Beth March has been murdered and all her sisters are suspects. After the New Year's Eve party, Beth is found dead. All the March sisters wonder who could have killed their sweet little sister and why. The March sisters have always been close, but will Beth's murder bring them closer together or tear them apart? As each of the girls' motives are uncovered, it becomes clear that Meg, Jo, Amy, and even Beth might not be quite as sweet as they seem. This is a cult classic. Louisa May Alcott's Little Women meets Karen McManus' One of Us is Lying. Perfect for fans of Little Women ready for a fresh new spin on the iconic story. It's a contemporary take on the famous March sisters with brilliant writing, a gripping plot, and many twists and turns. That turns the murder mystery genre on its head and keeps you guessing until the very end. Now, when it comes to murder mysteries, thrillers, where there is like victims and like a bad guy, I'm pretty good at like piecing things together and knowing exactly who, what, where, when, why. So we will see if this book will keep me guessing. I love Little Women. I have always loved Little Women. Some people hate it. My partner did not like it, which is fine. It's not for everybody. Classics are not for everybody, but I have always loved it ever since I was a child. I don't know why. I've watched many adaptations and have cried. I have read the book and have cried. So I'm very interested to see this take on it and see if I like it, based on my love for murder mystery thrillers, that sort of thing, and my love of the classic. Or if it's just going to make me feel like I am repeating the Wuthering Heights movie debacle and sitting there like, what am I actually watching on this screen right now? So yes, Beth is Dead. Next one I am hoping to get through is Queen of Faces by Petra Lord. It says, Annabelle is trapped in a boy's body, and in a year it will kill her. In a nation of Camor, the wealthy buy and trade bodies like clothes, but Anna can only afford a gray, damaged male form, and by her 17th birthday, it's already falling apart. As her extraordinary magical abilities grow, but her body continues to fail her, she is left with only one choice: become an assassin of the Paragon Academy, Camor's prestigious school of magic. But rebellion brews in Camor, and its helm of Kavohi, probably not how you say it, the most infamous dark mage in history, as Anna steals, fights, and kills for Paragon, and forms a tentative alliance and maybe more with the elusive West. She discovers secrets that transform her concept of hero and villain while she's striving above and beyond to become her true self, and that might just be the most powerful thing of all. A page-turning blockbuster full of heart-pounding action, intense magic, cinematic plot twists, emotional gut punches, and the perfect must-have new read for fans of Six of Crows, Atlas Six, and Babel. So already you can tell it's dystopian, which I like. And there's magic, which is even better. And what I mean by dystopian is because like they can just purchase whatever bodies they want. And it's giving me a little bit of maybe potentially LGBT because of that system. Maybe I could be overthinking it. I don't know, but we'll see about that. The last book I'm hoping to get through in March, for a total of probably 10 books. I have to double check, but is Whisper's Most Foul. It says, fans of dark academia will love Whisper's Most Foul, an evocative fantasy imbued with mystery, ghosts, and enemies to lovers' sapphic romance in a compelling prose. Its suspenseful gothic atmosphere is interwoven with magic to create the perfect spooky season read. Rose Fenliff has never felt at home in these elite halls, and outcast of her inability to cast spells, she keeps her head in books and away from critical eye of her headmistress. mother and sneers at her fellow scholars, especially the talented and insufferable Sylvie. But in the corridors of Dunhollow, something strange and threatening is stirring. Classmates are going missing, and Rose discovers she alone can see their ghosts. Are they dead or enchanted, or is something more sinister at work? Worse yet, Rose's last ghostly vision is Sylvie, who's just as displeased as Rose to find herself magically tied to her greatest academic rival. The reluctant pair must team up to uncover the deadly mystery that lies at the heart of the academy before time's run out for Sylvie. But are either of them prepared to face their most haunting of secrets, one buried deep in both of their hearts? Again, magic. Spells, witches, everything. It kind of is giving me a bit of a Harry Potter vibe, and as you can see, I am a fan of Harry Potter. So hopefully it's not like a carbon copy, but it has its own little bit of zest, and it can be its own. But I'm very excited for this one, especially again, Sapphic. So I'm hoping that I can potentially enjoy any romance aspects of the book. If it is primarily romance, I'm hoping it's not. I know some people enjoy it, but sometimes that's just not for me. So that is what I will be hopefully reading in March. Thank you. And if you've come this far, please consider liking, subscribing, sticking around, especially if you like to talk about a little bit of books, mischief, and lots of pixie dust. Until next time, bye!